I believe I started Tech Girls in the 5th or 6th grade. It gave me a boost to want to keep doing well in school. If you do well, then Tech Girls tell you that you're doing well and they'll keep pushing you to do harder.
Middle school girls often feel a great deal of stress, and their motivation to succeed in school suffers due to changing schools and peer groups, as well as significant body transformations.
Before Tech Girls, I didn't have very many friends and I was kind of like the outsider, but then once I joined Tech Girls, I started making new friends and it was easier. And then when I made the transition to middle school, I already had all these friends from Tech Girls, so it wasn't as big of a scare. My favorite part was probably Lego League because it taught me some leadership skills and technology-based stuff. I now know how to program robots and stuff. And it's easier for me to speak in front of people because of talking to the judges and stuff.
87% of LEGO Robotics competitors stated an increased interest in doing well in school, and 97% noted a belief that they could succeed at anything they tried.
I value the Tech Girls because they help mold you into a good young lady. You come out with manners and having respect and knowing that you can do something regardless of your gender or who you are or what background you come from. Something I'm excited about for my future is going to college and being able to actually grab a hold of my dream and fulfilling it. Tech Girls teaches you that just because you're a girl doesn't mean you can't do something. They've taught us that we can achieve whatever we want, and regardless of what field it's in. Before Tech Girls, I thought that a math and science related career was just for males, but I now know that it can be females as well.
Unfortunately, racism is alive and well. It's like an iceberg. There's the tip of the iceberg, and those are the things that we see and that we address, but there's a lot that's going on underneath the iceberg that we haven't touched. I think whenever you have a situation, a police brutality incident, that just really kind of brings to the surface that we have a bigger problem. I'm married to a law enforcement officer. We've been married for 40 years, so I'm an advocate for law enforcement. At the same time, I have a son who is an African American. There are times whenever my son is traveling, I am concerned, should he have an encounter with a law enforcement officer and how he might respond, and if that situation should escalate, what would happen? I think sometimes African American men are feared and they're stereotyped and perceived as criminal.
I love my son and I want the best for him, but he has entered a world that he did not necessarily create. As a mother of an African American male, I don't want my son to be a statistic.
In 2015, 4,215 people were victims of racially motivated crimes.
Well, I think the YWCA, it's the only organization that I'm aware of that has as part of its mission eliminating racism. But what the YWCA did last year, we brought together several people across our region just to talk about what was occurring. Even though on the surface and you look at our skin, we look different, but we all have things that we have in common. So I think it gives people an opportunity to come together and to listen to each other and then walk away enlightened and inspired by others, and hopefully so inspired that you want to make a difference. My dream is no different than any other parent. I want my son to grow up in a world where he is valued for who he is, who God created him to be. In the YWCA, we talk about peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. That's what I would want for my son. Maya Angelou says that when you know better, you do better. And I think that we can help people to learn about racism so that they'll know better and that they'll do better.
Upper elementary and middle school girls are going through a lot of changes. I see a lot of just struggles with fitting in with their peers, fostering bonds with other girls. They deal a lot with self-esteem and self-respect for themselves and respect for others. And then in addition to all of that, they have to deal with growing up. They're changing from children into young women, and that's a big deal, especially if you don't have somebody to help you through those transitions. A lot of times you've got single parents who work second shift, or they work 2 jobs, or late hours or whatever, just because they have to, just to make ends meet. So you've got girls going home to empty homes, not getting a whole lot of structure at home in the afternoons, so they're not getting homework done. They start struggling in school or getting behind. They just don't have anybody to be a good role model. And so Tech Girls is a great program for these girls because they're getting taken care of in the afternoons, they're getting their homework done, and then on top of that, they're doing fun things and getting out and having experiences that they probably wouldn't get to have.
After-school programs can improve classroom behavior, school attendance, and academic aspirations, and can reduce the likelihood that a student will drop out.
One thing that I've seen that's been really great is the bonds formed between the girls that attend Tech Girls together. I also see lots of leadership roles being taken on by some of these girls. That's been a really great thing to see, is some of these girls who probably wouldn't have taken on a leadership role feeling confident enough to do something like that. They're always telling me about all these fun things that they do, and I've really seen a change in their demeanor. They just seem happier and more content while they're here at school. I feel like it is empowering these young women, you know, just giving them a chance that maybe they wouldn't have had. There is one little girl that I have had for 2 years, and she's just kind of been, she just stays on my heart all the time. She's a really special student to me. She was going home to an empty home. She's in 4th grade, started kind of falling behind in her homework, and her mom was happy to have somewhere for her to go after school, and was happy to hear about the transportation because that was an issue for this parent. This child she craved love and attention from females, from me and her other teachers, and she just needed a safe environment to be in. So for 2 years she's been coming to Tech Girls, and I have seen huge improvements in her. She has made a really good bond with another girl that attends Tech Girls as well, and that's been really important for both of those girls. For this particular student, Tech Girls has just completely turned her around, and I think she was kind of headed down a wrong path, and Tech Girls has really given her some positive females in her life, and peers and friendships, and it's just been a great success story for her.